guys, in today's video we are going to share with you 9 questions to ask when you are on a first date, because we know that dates, and especially first dates, can be nerve-wracking, and sometimes you want to be well prepared and yet it can go really wrong. So we're going to give you some tools and tips to use to make that first date go so much smoother. I am Céline Remy, the Intimacy Angel.
And I'm Kevin Anthony, the Truth Warrior. And if you've ever had a date that had a weird, awkward moment of silence, then please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And we are going to make sure that never happens again.
So let's start with our very first question. Of course, take these with a grain of salt and remember to modify them to your own liking and things that work for you, because we are all a little bit different. But we want to give you a framework to start with, and then you can modify things. So a good question to ask is, number one, why would you be asking questions, right? You want to ask questions so that you can figure out if that person is a good match and is worthy of a second date. Because really, why would you waste your time with somebody who is the complete opposite or so different or doesn't share the same values than you? It's not even worth it. So if you can narrow it down through some questions, it can help. So question number one is to help you figure out a little bit more about who they are in their general life. What do they do, especially on the weekend, And it could go something like, hey, what's your ideal Saturday?
Yeah, and this question, as simple as it sounds, can give you a really good idea of who somebody is and what they do. So for instance, if you ask that question and the person says, well, I like to go out drinking and get hammered every night, but your idea of a Saturday night is to stay home in front of the fire and read a book, there might not be a match there. So you can see how just understanding what somebody's typical weekend or lifestyle is like could tell you a lot about who they are.
Now, question number 2 is something to help you and help that person get in touch with really what brings them joy in life, and something along the line of what makes you feel alive in life. Because most people define themselves by what they do or where they're from, but it's really not the whole picture. And who cares what they do, right? It's so much more interesting to know what lights them up, what makes them get up in the morning, what is it that really turn them on.
This was a huge reframe for me many years ago, when I would go out to parties and events, and the first question people would always ask is, what do you do? And I got really tired of telling people what I did for a living. And so I started answering that question with everything else but that. And that actually caught people off guard, and they really liked it. They're like, oh, wow, that's cool. Because people are so just used to hearing, oh, I'm a blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm a nurse. Oh, I'm a salesman. Oh, I blah, 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 right? Which doesn't even tell you a whole lot about the person. It really only tells you how they make money. It's a great first question to ask. It also gets to the heart of their passions. What is it that they're passionate about? And you can tell a lot about a person when you know what they're passionate about.
So our question number 3 is around travel. If you like to travel, like we do, is to ask well, do you like to travel? And if so, what's on your bucket list? Where have you gone? What have you seen? Because that again can create a really beautiful conversation of sharing different things, different places around the world and the different cultures that they might have been exposed to. And it can give you great insight into a person's life.
Yeah, so you're going to find out, are they adventurous or are they not adventurous? When they travel, if they travel, do they stay in 5-star resorts, or would they rather be backpacking across Europe, right? So these details tell you a lot about who a person is.
Now let's move to our question number 4 for all the foodies out there. And I'm going to admit, I kind of put that question in there, but if you could eat anything for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what would it be? And if you have like specific things that you do enjoy or that are important to you around your diet and what you eat, that's a great question to figure out whether or not you are compatible. What if you're vegetarian and the other person's like, oh, all I want to do is eat meat? Maybe that's a massive deal breaker for you. So that can help you narrow it down very quickly.
At very least, you'll find out if there is a future in this relationship, what you're gonna have to deal with as far as meals every day.
Let's go to our question number 5. It could be something around the lines of like, describe what your home feels like or looks like, or tell me more about your home, or what is it that you love about your home? So then it gets the person to talk about their sanctuary, that place that they call home, and you get again to have a glimpse into who they are.
Oh, you can learn so much about a person just by seeing their home. Have you ever had a friend that you were friends with for years? You only saw them out at events or maybe at your place or a particular activity that you do. You've never been to their house. And like 10 years later, you finally go to their house and you go, oh, I didn't know this about you. I didn't know this about you. I didn't know this about you. All that just from stepping in the front door. So having somebody explain to you or describe what their house is like can tell you a lot.
Plus, that way you don't have to go there for the first date, so it feels a little bit safer. Our question number 6, if you want to go there, is around money, because money is a big trigger for most people. And this is one of the biggest reasons like people will divorce, because of money issues, money management. So it's a good idea to ask things about like, how do you like to spend your money? You don't have to ask how much I have in their bank account. Might be a little bit too soon on the first date. But like, it could give you again an idea of like, how do you like to spend your money? Like somebody might be like, I put everything into a saving account. Or somebody's like, this is my passion, this is my hobby, this is where all my money goes. Or like, so many options really that can happen.
Yeah, and I don't remember the statistics offhand exactly. It's either number 1 or number 2 reason why couples break up. So understanding how people deal with money is going to be very important, and you're going to want to know that real soon.
And because you are here on this channel and we are helping you to bring your A game to the bedroom, we have to bring some sexual questions. They might feel a little bit uncomfortable or awkward for you at first, but trust us, these questions need to be asked, and they need to be asked on the first date before you get intimate. So our question number 7 has to do when were you tested last? You want to know about their STIs, and maybe even what's your safe sex protocol, or how do you engage in sexual activity with others. You want to know, have they ever been tested? You want to know if they use condoms. You want to know if they're a safe person to be intimate with. And I know a lot of people think that this is a really hard question, but that has always been a rule of mine, that I would never have sex with somebody unless I had clarity around how they treated their body, how they interacted with other people, and how well they knew what was going on inside.
So this is one that gets overlooked by a lot of people. We work with a lot of clients, and we know that a lot of people are on dating sites and they're dating all the time, and they never ask this question. Even before they actually have sex, like not on the first date, they don't ask it at all. And they have sexual encounter after sexual encounter without ever asking this question. It's a very important question to make sure you ask.
And while we are on the subject, let's move to our question number 8, which is all about sex. And if you want to know, what kind of sex do you like? It's going to make a very, very interesting conversation, trust us.
Yeah, well, if we go back to that list of the top reasons why people divorce, sex or lack thereof is, I think, in the top 3. So another very important question to ask. You need to know, is there a possibility that you're going to be sexually compatible with this person?
Or not. And, that gives you a lot of understanding into that person. Our question number 9, final question here, is for something a little bit bigger. So if you are a religious person, you can ask about the particular religion that you believe to, that you follow. If you are more of a spiritual person and you believe that there is something bigger, that's a question to ask because you want to know where the person stands. Again, religion is a massive friction point between people. So ask something along the lines, do you believe in something bigger, or do you have like some connection with spirit, the universe, or a god in particular? Whatever your beliefs are, like ask that and see what their response is and whether you can engage with that person.
And this is just another one where if one person is one religion and another person is another religion, or let's say one person is very religious and the other one is an atheist. Not that either one is good or bad, but again, it's trying to get to the heart of, are you going to be compatible? And while there can be minor differences, and that's fine, if there's a big glaring difference, and maybe that difference might even be a deal breaker, because it is for some people, you're going to want to know that.
Ultimately, you want to know your deal breakers before you go on dates. You need to know yourself so that you can know what to look for and not just waste your time with people that are not compatible. And in asking these questions, these 9 questions that we just shared with you, it will help you select better people and create a connection in intimacy that can then foster and develop into something deeper, more meaningful, and that can last for longer. Alright, we hope today's video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.
Research suggests CBD products may improve libido by reducing anxiety. And no, CBD is not psychoactive. It does not get you high. A recent survey of 5,398 Americans from Remedy Review, a website that focuses on CBD and natural health remedies, found that 9.3% of respondents have taken CBD for sex. The majority of those respondents said their orgasms were more intense after taking CBD. If you are interested in experimenting with CBD in your sex life, I have found a top quality CBD product for you. Their full spectrum CBD comes from premium, sustainably farmed hemp plants, which are processed in the United States. Plus, they have no harmful solvents, chemicals, toxic compounds, or impurities. To get up to 51% off while supplies last, go to CelineRemy.com/go/CBD or click on the link below.